and we're off. Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here at Digital PNA this afternoon. It's Wednesday, February 21st. Very excited to see you all here. I'm going to go ahead and jump right into the slideshow, which I know is super exciting for everybody, myself included. And still, even with Zoom, it's 15 steps until I can get to the point. There we go. So this shows, hello. I don't know if you guys see the secondary drop down here. Okay, this shows our current members. It's a little smaller than it was last year. Digital PNA had some attrition, but we're in growth mode. I prefer to think positive. We did have a couple of people, change businesses, stuff like that, and it just meant that they were in a different position, so they had to leave. But this is who we've got. We've got Marcel from Dreamosity, Karen from KK Financial Solutions. I hope I said that right. She's not reacting. Okay, yeah, okay. Me from LaughTech, Mike from BizX, and Rosie Stritzel from Tap Services, our newest member. Very excited to have you, Rosie. And then just for the sake of our lovely guest, Chris, who I've known for years. We're like besties from time, old E-Women days. I think that's what.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, Digital PNA or PNA in general, my other company. I pay people. I want to reward folks for bringing other folks into this organization, whether it's a physical chapter at Digital PNA, excuse me, at PNA Northwest, or the digital chapter, Digital PNA. So I am your El Presidente, and let's skip that slide. Sweet, you don't need to see my face. You're already seeing me here. I'm the president for this year, but now here's the fun part. We get to ask for some volunteers, excuse me. Karen's presenting, so she's off the hook. Chris, I want to ask if you could be our photographer today. As a guest, that just means maybe grab a screenshot at some point. If Karen's dropping some cool slides, something like that, you could do a screenshot, or even take your phone at some point and just turn around and take a selfie of all of us, whatever. If you're willing to have fun with that today, go ahead and do that. And then I'll drop an email into the chat window later, and you could send any results you care to send our way. Are you willing to do
okay, that? Sure, I can do that. Yeah.
Massive responsibility. Huge. Okay, good. She's in. Tracker. Got only 3 people left here that can do these things. I will be the timer today. So Karen, if you're sharing screens today, make sure you keep my bobblehead up there on the little mini screen so you see it go to yellow and then red. Okay. So Tracker, who'd like to listen to any quotables, any interesting data points? In case, Karen starts number dropping like it's hot, you want to document that stuff and talk about it. Not talk about it, but track it. Any volunteers? Marcel, it's yours.
Oh no, Mike's hand was up.
Mike
I want to
it.
doodle. I'm
Mike,
already taking minutes as
Okay.
secretary. So.
I thought he was just batting away a fly. Okay, good. So Mike, thank you. Appreciate that. And Doodler, did I hear that Marcel wants to doodle?
Yes, please. Unless Rosie really wants it.
Look at how excited she is. She's positively vibrating.
Doodling builds the skill of storyboarding. It's a great skill to have.
Okay, Marcel. All right. All right, so we're going to go ahead and go into our commercials. All of you know what this is. You can take 60 seconds, mention what your business is, maybe something that separates you from your competition. If you have a particular ask, maybe you have a goal that you want to hit this year, things like that, feel free to do that. Let's start with Karen. And in respect to her presentation today, anything she says during her commercial, we are charged to forget completely. Okay, so anyway, go ahead, Karen. You can lead us off with your 60-second commercial.
All right. So I am Karen Koenig with KK Financial Solutions, and used to be in the Pacific Northwest. Now I'm in Arizona, but I still serve all the same clients. I can serve anybody from anywhere. Been in the business for 8 years, started my own firm in 2021. So going on 3 years. Yay. And at the start of the year, I switched over from my current brokerage, Union Capital, to a company called Wealthcare. And that just means I have to have like a go-between between me and the clearinghouses to do business. Oh. And it's a good transition, and met with my boss today. So that was great. You'll hear more about me and my business once I do my talk.
Outstanding. Great, Karen, thank you. Mike, you're next, big guy.
Everybody, great news, Karen. I'm interested to learn more. Mike with BizX. BizX is a barter network, a B2B barter network. So barter simply means taking what you have and using it to get what you need. Network allows you to do that with scale and efficiency with some 4,000 companies in and around the Puget Sound area and in the Bay Area. We are keen on adding new members as a network. When you add a member, it makes it better for everybody else. And in particular, home services and professional services. We just brought on the day before yesterday, a company called Sasquatch Strength, a chain of about 5 boutique gymnasiums on the east side. So if you know of companies that need new customers or can use barter effectively to offset cash costs, love to talk.
That's great, Mike. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Chris, I think you're experienced enough and bold enough. In worst case, you'll narrate, fake it anyway, because you're a pro. Tell us all about yourself and welcome. It's great to see you.
Hey, I'm Chris Kepler with Chris Kepler Narrations. I'm an audiobook narrator, producer, and consultant, writer, and voice actor. I'm also an actor with an IMDb page, and I have a podcast. Does this happen to you?
I love that. Chris, do me a favor before I forget, please put all your contact information in the chat window, as well as any of those handles, right, for your podcast or Insta. One of the key things about DigitalPNA is we help digital syndication. We help people grow their reach, especially off of some of the platforms you just mentioned. So I just love seeing you here. I'm so happy. Rosie, let's have you go, and then Miss Marcel, and then I'll round it out.
Sure. So Rosie with TAP Services, and what TAP stands for is Taxes, Accounting, and Payroll. So basically it's busy season, as we all know, for right now. A lot of people coming out of the woodworks to file their taxes or get an extension, or better yet, clean up payroll from last year, which is I'm in the midst of that chaos right now. But basically, sorry, I'm brain. Can you tell? Like, I'm completely off today.
Just start making grunting
Just
noises.
like,
That's what all other accountants are doing.
You
what's
two
that?
won't mind.
Just start making grunting noises. That's what all
Grunting
other
noises,
accountants
I
are doing.
know.
Right?
Exactly. No, but basically what let's focus on what would be a good referral for me. How about that? I can do that.
Yeah, sure.
So I think what a good referral for me is for clients that actually can let me do my job, so to speak, instead of them trying to figure out how to do account. It sounds funny, but I just had one client that she just discontinued all because she got stressed, and she was pretty much a micromanager. And I'm glad I found out sooner than later,
Yeah.
honestly. But it's people that really want the help, that trust me enough to add me as a bank user, viewer, and all this other stuff, so that I can actually get them on the road to success. There's so many people out there that don't know how to do their payroll or fix things. I might be getting another one soon from Becky at Linwood. Another mess. But I like messes. So if you know anybody with messes, send them my way.
Okay. All right, Rosie, thank you. That was her presentation today, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. No.
So it
Rosie has
sounds
the
like
most amazing stories. I encourage everyone to have a one-to-one with her. Just sit back and enjoy. Marcel, let's hear from you. Here you go.
I was gonna say, Rosie, it sounds like you're a professional financial cleaning lady. You just clean up.
Yeah, exactly. That should be a tagline. I like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm similar with the digital marketing side of things, and I want to focus your attention here to the link in the chat here. This great cover photo. It's got my new 2 publications. The first one with me, and then Cindy O'Neill Dady. And my request this week is that you like that post. Maybe leave a comment. You can take your time, come back to it. But I want you to tag 2 or 3 people this week to that post specifically, saying you got to check out what Marcel Allen's doing over at Dreamosity. This is going to be a really cool year for them. She's having a comeback year. Go check it out. I really want to challenge you and equip you to go to bat for me and invite your people to come see what's happening, because again, I feel called to lead a visual movement, and I'm talking about that in this publication. And I think as creators, content creators, we can help other people make decisions faster and more effectively based on the social media content we're producing, whether it's going to YouTube, Google, Instagram, Facebook. We can do better, you guys. And so in this publication, I'll be addressing that and inviting hopefully some of you to be featured remarkable leaders in the network. So stay tuned for an invite from me on that as well.
That's awesome.
Marcel with Dreamosity.
Marcel, thank you. I'm going to share something here really quickly. Guess who just won a thing?
Good job.
Look at that, everybody. Isn't
Woo!
that exciting? Oh, and
Good job.
Wow.
Siri's excited
Wow.
too.
Siri's
on my
celebrating you.
watch. Yeah, I just got an award literally an hour ago that I didn't know existed. I didn't apply for it, didn't know, probably isn't going to do anything for me, but it's cool because there's something shiny. Look at that, it's shiny. This basically means that on the Bash, which is one of the sites that I use as Laugh Tech, the division of Laugh Tech, Brian Trendler Presents, my auctioneer and MC stuff. And my dogs are fighting now in the background, so if you hear weird grumbling, that's not my stomach. Anyway, this is a Rising Star Award because I respond fastest, I've been chosen the most, and I've earned a little bit of income from it. So that's kind of cool. Laugh Tech, what we do in general, I say we because I have the honor of co-owning it with Miss Marcel Allen. We literally are humor engagement coaches. Normally people say, oh, what is that? We're like, people pay us to make you funnier. And we literally do. It's not, though, just teaching someone ever to tell a joke. It's how to be comfortable in their own skin, how to improve how they respond to curveball questions when you're talking to an audience. How do you give a good 45-second commercial? Whatever it is, we can help, whether it's improve a work environment, improve someone's own positivity and or feelings about the face they look at every day in the mirror, and any age group. So if you know folks that either suffer from boring or want to work on themselves or even their work atmospheres, things like that, that's a great referral for us. So there we go. Okay, so the next thing I love doing is now we kind of do a tangent. We're going to go back around the room. And yes, I'm scrambling to get my Zoom screens up here. We're going to talk about a specific subject and then go back around the room and discuss it. Answer it kind of one at a time. And if there's benefit from the standpoint of sharing anything above and beyond, let's see what happens. Sometimes we uncover some really cool things. So again, 10 buttons to share. There we go. I want to know, from a syndication standpoint, how many of you are like doom scrollers or dumb scrollers? In my case, you just scroll through reels or scroll through stories on a regular basis, but how often are you sold? How many of you have purchased something based off of what you've seen? Because I'm noticing more and more on a personal note that I'm being sold to. It's no longer just funny cats or porcupines or just whatever weird animals or cooking things. I'm actually now aggressively being sold to. And of course, now that I'm talking about it right now, Facebook is listening and I'm screwed. Everything that could be possibly sold to me is going to start populating my feed. So let's talk about this. What type of things have you been watching? Are you seeing, or even do you try to go out and witness from a reel or Facebook standpoint or something else maybe that has really gotten you to pull out that there debit card, which by the way, you shouldn't be using your debit card, it's not protected. What are you using? Are you purchasing? What's happening? So really quickly, what's most important, and Chris has never seen this, this is the PNA mascot dog, who just distracts me throughout every single meeting. He just hangs out and just wants to be fun. So this is my little Schmoopy. All right, so good. All right.
Shopping for treats.
Schmoopy too. All right. So, that's Chewy, my rescue dog, who never leaves me alone during Zoom calls. Okay, so have you ever watched a reel or story? Have you been sold to? What has it been? And remember, this is a family show. So if it's something, make it up if it's something weird. I don't remember the order. Karen was first the last time, and then Mike.
So, you know how you talk about things and then they end up in your Facebook feed? Yeah. So that's what happens to me. So I have actually purchased. So I purchased hydraulic acid for solution for my face from a Facebook post because I was scrolling through something. I don't think I was talking about it, but the scary thing is I was thinking about I should use hydraulic acid on my face because it's good for your wrinkles. And up popped this company called, I think it's Naked and Thriving. And I scrolled through the page and it's like, oh, they've got a good deal on that. And they had a deal on the I think it's hydraulic acid plus the little oil that you get to go with it. And I ended up purchasing and now I'm a customer. So yeah, I do that. I try to limit myself because I get go down rabbit holes sometimes, like the whole who is it, the gal, the singer, the country singer that's lost a lot of weight recently. So I started down the path about how she did it, and I almost bought a couple of bottles of those
Kelly
gummies that she uses to lose weight, and then I was like, no, because then I get into reading all this stuff and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do that. So yeah, I'm a sucker for that kind of marketing sometimes.
I love it, Karen. This is like a weird AA. You're like admitting things. We're in a positive environment, and I'm proud of you for sharing. Very good. All right, so we'll have a moment of silence now for Karen. No.
Right.
Mike, how about you?
I'm going to join the confessional here. I used to think that I was completely immune to this because I thought I knew how it works. So I would, be very careful about buying in or jumping on something. But I think what's happened to me in the most recent past is as social media has become more part of my life, I'm more comfortable in looking things up that interest me. And I believe that the social media companies and their advertisers are more clever than they ever have been. So the confluence of that is, of course, I'm seeing a pair of running shorts on my feed, just as I'm thinking about, I need to get some running shorts because I probably was typing in races and things coming up relatively quickly. And I jumped. I bought a $50 pair running shorts. I had and before I knew it, I bought it, and only a couple of moments afterwards did I recognize I was sucked in. And by the way, I'm a sucker for that kind of marketing. Is the thing that I wrote down as one of the quotables from this particular meeting.
I love
because
it.
it resonates with me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Good. All right, Mike. Thank you, Chris. Back to you. You're a trained professional now. Let's hear what suckered you in.
Well, I'm not much of a scroller. I'm usually looking for specific things from specific people, usually just in my industry or my friends, so I can't really think of anything that I get. And I end up, because I'm a writer too, and I do a lot of research online, I end up with a lot of things in my scroll that's like, oh yeah, I was out, looking for information on that, wasn't I? And now it's in my scroll, and it's like, yeah, I didn't really have any interest at all beyond writing about that.
So you've resisted the urge. I'm proud.
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that, Miss Rosie.
Well, there's been 2 times that I can think of where I fell victim. One, and you won't be surprised by this, but I kept seeing Little Robot ads over and over again. Do you know what that is?
No.
Yeah, I see Ryan's face confused.
Well, I couldn't hear it that well. What type?
Litter Robot.
A litter robot.
Yeah, you've never heard of that?
Well, I've heard of a Roomba.
Cat litter.
It's
It's for cat litter, right? Yeah.
So basically, it's overpriced, but very useful. Automatic almost like a machine, almost looks like a washing machine. And so when the cat uses it, it actually dumps it into a container. So you never have to scoop cat litter. Well, my husband and I have we have 2 cats. We've been wanting something for the longest time, so we gave in. But we did all the research first. We didn't click on the Facebook ad, but we just went straight to their website, and ordered. But it's been, the best $700 I'd say probably.
$700.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so that was one. And the other was actually a prep meal kit, because I kept seeing advertisements only because I've been looking. And so finally I was just like, okay, let's just give it a try. And I hated the meal plan that we, picked. I think it was HelloFresh.
Mm.
And we tried
Right.
it and we're just like, this is the most terrible food ever.
Oh, geez. Wow. Well, you're a heck of a cook too, so I can see how you're a little biased.
A little
Okay.
bit.
Wow. So you win the award so far, potentially of most money spent on a feed of some sort. Okay.
I can top that.
Oh, Marcel. Okay. Here we
So,
go.
well, last year, a lot of you guys know I had a big medical mystery, and eventually someone tagged me to this gal on Instagram, and I just swooned over her content. It was funny, it was wild, it was weird, but it was useful. It was very educational. She was a physical therapist out of Lake Stevens. And I don't know if I'm definitely over 1,000, but I don't think I'm over 2,000 in terms of paid physical therapy fees that my insurance did not cover. But she's got a lot of my money from, like, I needed relief, I needed help, and she was just perfect. So she's actually gonna be my my March feature, because she's just wonderful. But I love hearing these stories. Like, and I was gonna say, so I'm a student of sales, but I'm also a sales trainer. And so I've sold many things myself on Instagram, probably thousands for clients over the years, right? Like, I've had a lot of good results with people on Instagram. And there is a trick between reels and stories, because you can do your links in stories in a way that if you've got an active following, people click all the time.
Yeah.
So if you're not selling yet in stories, I highly encourage it. And if you don't know what that is, set up a one-to-one with me and I would like to show you.
I love it. Okay, so we're gonna end on me regarding this little fun tangent here, but I will say that for a short term there, I think Temu's #1 order
Oh, yeah.
purchase guy, because I fell prey to a Temu early, and a lot of it's complete garbage, and a lot of it is actually decent stuff that quite frankly, Temu purchases through Alibaba. They're just a distributor. If you don't know what Alibaba is, it's not a Disney movie. Look it up online. It is actually one of the largest businesses in the world. And they're a distributor, they're a manufacturer. Lots of people go to Alibaba to create custom molds for product design. And then of course it's China, they steal it. And I'm not being horrible. It's been documented. But point is that patents and stuff can be sent through them. And it's some of it's, like I said, some of it's garbage, some of it's good. At the same time, I have pretty yellow teeth. Not a fan. But whether it's years drinking coffee or years of gum damage from having braces originally that were the full solid metal bands around my teeth back in the day, just the fitting process alone, they just cram a band. That doesn't fit, cram a band. That doesn't fit. It destroys your gum line. So I've always been looking for enamel rebuilding stuff or the whitening stuff you can put on. And there's something, and Marcel and I talk about funny stuff all the time. I don't know if she realizes I bought some of the stuff that's purple looking. And from a color spectrum standpoint, if you put this purple SHIT on and let it sit for a bit, well, purple negates yellow in the color charts. So from a UV and or purple treatment, it's supposed to give you temporary relief from the yellowish teeth. So I've tried it so far, hasn't worked worth a damn. Thankfully, I didn't spend a lot. I've been suckered into a few things in the past. So
you can get it free from your dentist now.
Oh, really? That purple stuff?
Not that stuff, just whitening.
Oh, but that's not free.
The gel is, not the trays, but once you have the trays, they give you the gel for free.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I'll ask for an additional little, squirt or whatever the next time.
That's why I have such white teeth.
Oh, it's in my defense, because so much of my teeth are exposed, like I'm like a millimeter away from exposing bone in a number of areas, which is not good. So I actually can't use a lot of things because they
Gotcha, yeah.
cause further degradation. So whatever. Yay me. Okay. So embarrassingly enough, puppy needs to move. There you go. There you go. He just squeaked when I put him down. He's mad at me now. He's giving me stink eye. I'm really excited. Actually, real quick, thank you so much for everyone's participation. What I do want you all to think about, and for those of you, hint, hint, Chris, who come back at our next meeting, we're twice a month in this 90-minute format, come back next time. Whoever's taking notes, take note of this. Come back next time with something you want to go to market with for your business that we can then all turn around and help you syndicate. Maybe in my case, maybe it's a laugh tech session, a discount. Maybe in Mike's case, it's a percentage off their setup fee, whatever the situation is, right? Chris, first 200 words free, whatever. It can be anything. And how can we help syndicate you? And do you want to then turn around and give Marcel potential business? She can teach you how to successfully put that into a story or put that into a reel with the other associated tools to help drive success to your business, right? That's why we're all here. So again, thank you for participating. I'm really excited. We all get to listen to Miss Karen Koenig right now. She is owner, financial advisor, and author of KK Financial Solutions. I love the financially empowering you tag. It just makes me feel like I should have a cape or something. Love that. We're going to listen to her present today. So once again, Karen, I'm assuming you'll need to share slides or something?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
I'm going to stop there because you all saw her noggin there. And I'm going to really quickly pause and go here and make sure you can share. And keep my noggin on the screen so you see the color changes. So when you are ready, go ahead, and we look forward to hearing from you, Karen.
Okay, let me find where I want to share. Okay, so I'm going to put this into presentation mode.
Yeah.
You guys, can you still see that?
Actually, no, you're sharing your
It
primary
went
screen, not
to
your
a different screen. Gotcha. Let me stop that and bring it over here.
And not that 20 minutes goes out too quickly, but I will.
Yeah, I know.
I will start timing once we're seeing what you're going to tell us about.
Okay, how about this screen here?
There we go.
There we go.
All right. All right, so my name is Karen Koenig, like I said, with KK Financial Solutions. And just a little bit of background about me, if you don't know me, I spent 26 years in the military, 6 years at Boeing, and then the last 8 years I've been in financial services. And there's a couple of things here. So, oops, what did I do? Do you still see my screen?
We can see your
No.
Google screen right now.
Yeah.
What? Hate that when I do that. Hang on. Took it out of. Do you see it again now? There we go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I tell you a little bit about the background because I wrote a book called Women on Top, How to Win in a Woman's Way. And it's about the different things that I learned about being in male-dominated fields. And the biggest lesson that I learned is I'm really good with people. And I like to help people have their money grow. And that's why I became a financial advisor. And I'm a little bit of a geek because I like to actually make portfolios for people and watch their money grow and have them be happy about that. But I've also been featured on several different things. I've been on several podcasts. I've been in local Mukilteo magazine. I've been in Financial Advisor magazine, a lot of those to promote my book, but a lot just to talk about being a female in the financial industries. And really, that's kind of what led me to, I started out with a large firm in the financial industries in 2015. And then in 2021, I opened my own business. And the reason why I did that is because I wanted to bring more things to my clients than what I was able to do with that large firm. So what I'm able to do is sell things that are called alternative investments. So my presentation today is what is the difference between basic and alternative investments. And I decided to do this because I did a presentation about different venues you can put your money into, like Roth IRAs and IRAs and those types of things. And I think it was Mike that said, hey, I'd like to learn about alternative investments. So I developed a presentation, and I actually pitched it at one of our other meetings, and I just literally talked about alternative investments and people were lost. And the feedback was, well, tell us what basic investments are to start with. So I'm going to go a little bit into basic investments so you kind of understand what they are. And then I'll talk to you about alternative investments, and then I'll tell you why would you want to do that. So first off, basic investments are just like you see on the screen. You've got stocks. Everybody's heard about stocks. You've got large cap stocks. You've got mid cap stocks, small cap stocks. You've got growth and value stocks. You probably have heard those terms. The biggest difference, the way I like to explain those to people is, though, a large cap stock is going to be someone like Amazon. So it's a company that's big, been in business for years. You can get, they're considered large cap because of that and the type of investment or returns that you can get from them. Mid-cap stocks are some places like Costco. They've maybe not been around as long, or they may not have as much in the market, but they're considered a mid-cap. And then like a small cap stock would be, you've probably seen on TV, the Invesco QQQ. There's a lady that talks about the QQQ stock. That's considered a small cap stock because it's a smaller investment, smaller company. The second type of investment that you've heard about is bonds. And a lot of people heard things about bonds when the interest rate's down, because interest rates are inversely proportional to, or bonds are inversely proportional to interest rates. So when interest rates go down, bonds go up. And when interest rates go down, or interest rates go up, bonds go down. So bonds were a good place to be when the market was really volatile. But there's different types of bonds. So you can either do a corporate bond or you can do a municipal bond. And what does that mean? So a corporate bond is basically you're loaning money to a corporation. So let's say a corporation wants to build a new building on campus. So what they'll do is they'll issue a bond, and let's say usually you can buy them in $1,000 increments. And let's say you have $10,000 to invest. So what you do is you buy a $10,000 corporate bond. And what they do is they pay you interest on that bond until they decide to call that bond back, or whenever they're done building something. Municipal bond, kind of the same thing, but it has to do with municipalities, which means like schools or roads or those types of things. So let's say a school or the city of Mukilteo wants to build a road. They'll issue a bond to build that road. And again, in increments of $1,000, you give them $10,000, they pay you interest until they're done building that road. So that's kind of the difference between corporate and municipal. Then you got mutual funds, and mutual funds are basically a basket of stocks. So let's say instead of owning just one stock, a mutual fund might have anywhere from 10 to 30 to 50 different stocks inside of it. And what you're doing is you're relying on a mutual fund manager to buy and sell stocks within that particular mutual fund, which is called the ticker symbol. So let's say maybe you owned Fidelity, the Fidelity Equity Fund. So you would buy into that mutual fund, and then you would own whatever that mutual fund manager decided to buy within that fund. And then you have exchange traded funds, or ETFs, and those are basically funds that are traded on an exchange, and they generally track a specific index. So what does that mean in layman terms? What that means is like an index. So you would have like an energy ETF. So it would strictly have stuff inside of it that's tracking the energy index. Biotech. Maybe could be gold. It could be a gold ETF where it just tracks the gold index, or a silver ETF. So instead of buying the tangible physical gold, you would buy an ETF that is invested into that index. So basically all of you probably know what stocks, bonds, and mutual funds are. Those are what are considered basic investments. So what exactly are then alternative investments? So we've got several different types of alternative investments, and I'll tell you the difference between them. So what they are their investments outside of the traditional investment realm of what the basic investments that I just showed you. So it's outside of just investing in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and cash. They include a wide range of assets like real estate, commodities. You've heard about private equity funds. You've probably heard about hedge funds. You've heard about art. You can do alternative investments where you invest in collectibles or even in cryptocurrencies. So a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or the other ones that are out there, they're considered alternative investments. And then inside of internal alternative investments, there's several different types of investments. And the first one is a core interval fund. And what they are, it's like a mutual fund, but they are funds that are in between a growth and value fund. So normally when you buy a mutual fund, you're either getting all growth funds, stocks within inside of that, or all value stocks inside of that. What a core interval fund does is it picks the ones that are in between the two, and that way they are less volatile, believe it or not. So these would be things like private real estate, private credit, private infrastructure, and you'll see there they actually have better returns with less volatility, and the minimum investments for those are anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500. And I don't want to get too technical, but you'll either get a 1099 or you'll get a K1 to turn into the IRS for the growth that happens on those, because you always have to pay the IRS. The next type of alternative is what's called a non-accredited. And a non-accredited alternative investment is an investment that is made for someone like you and I. We can do non-accredited investing. It's anybody making less than 200,000 K annually, and your net worth is less than $1 million, excluding your house. So why would you do, what is a non-accredited? It gets you returns that are up to 10.25%. So it's going to give you higher returns than your basic investments. But you'll see, as a non-accredited investor, you have to do minimum investments of 20,000 or more. So these would be, like there's a company that I work with, and they're kind of like investing in a little bit like the core alternatives, where it's a mutual fund, but it's specifically for people that are in that income band. And then other alternatives are accredited alternative investments. And these are securities that are not registered with the SEC or the Security Exchange Commission. So stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs are all registered with the SEC. You trade them on the NASDAQ or on the Dow. Well, accredited investments, these are not traded on the NASDAQ or the Dow. So you specifically have to go to somebody to be able to invest with these. And there is an income band for these as well. And it's for people that have annual income over 200K and a net worth that exceeds 1 million. So non-accredited, less than 200,000, less than 1 million. Accredited is higher than 200,000, higher than 1 million. Or if you hold a Series 7, so that would be me. I'm a Series 7. I hold a Series 7. So I could buy accredited investments. Again, look at that. Minimum investments are anywhere from 10 to 100K. So it can get a little expensive. And but they offer higher returns. These accredited investments, the returns will net you anywhere between 15 and 25%. So again, yes, higher net worth, you're going to put money into things that give you higher returns. And then the last one is qualified alternatives. And these are also securities that are not registered with the SEC. And you have to be an individual that owns at least 5 million in investments, including stocks, bonds, cash, those types of things, or a corporation that holds over 25 million in investments. So obviously you see the minimum investment there is 100K. So that's kind of the differences between basic investments and then alternative investments. And a lot of people are asking, probably, you've heard a little bit, why would you do this? Why would you want to do like a alternative investment? Well, one of the biggest reasons is it has lower correlation to the market. So believe it or not, it has less volatility because it doesn't follow the Dow or the NASDAQ or any like an index fund where it's following the index. So it's a lower correlation to the market. So some people will buy some of those core alternatives inside of a portfolio because it doesn't react the same as stocks and bonds do. The other reason why you might want to buy an alternative investment is you have broader investments to choose from. So you can literally buy into companies. You can buy into real estate trusts where you'll hold, you've probably heard of this before. Well, they'll tell you, hey, I own $65,000 in a real estate investment trust, but I don't make anything off of it because I have to hold it for 6 to 10 years. And then I'm promised to get my initial investment back plus interest on that. So that's the other thing with alternative investments. They're illiquid. So it would be part of your long-term investing plan to put alternatives into your portfolio. Other reason I told you is higher interest rates or higher returns, I mean. So you're going to get lots higher returns, anywhere from 10 to 25%, where in a normal portfolio that is, invested in lots of different things, so it's diversified, you can expect to get anywhere from 5 to 8.5 sometimes, depending on what you're invested in. And why also would you do this? A lot of people went into alternative investments when we dumped into the low interest rate environment. So because you're able to maximize returns during a low interest rate environment, it's a good way to make money doing other than, watching your investments tank during a low interest rate environment and when there's high volatility. So that's the differences today between the differences between basic investments, alternative investments, and then why you would own them. So now I will open it up to questions.
I got
and I know you have your breakout. Okay.
So Karen, just real quick, your second or third slide talked about the options and, accredited, not accredited, the minimum investment. Is that year to year, or is that just to get them started?
That's initial investment.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
follow up, but not directly correlated to that. You mentioned that one of them was tied directly into having it for X amount of years. You have to sit on it for like 6 to 10 years in order to then get the profit off of that percentage. How is that different than a bond?
Well, it's not, it's only different than a bond because you're investing a lot more. A bond you can buy in increments of 1,000.
1,000, yeah.
Where these other ones, you may have to do a minimum of 2,500. You may have to do a minimum of $10,000. So it depends on the investment itself, but the average investor probably can't afford something like that. So that's why we go into the basic investments with a person that's starting out, but you can always put alternative investments into your portfolio, even if you're not a seasoned investor.
Okay, so I lied. One more follow-up, and I'll let other people ask questions. So you mentioned that they're not tied directly into the stock market and all that stuff. So who's backing these programs?
Well, it's private equity. So it's the companies that are backing them. So basically you're buying into those particular companies.
But if the company goes,
then
there's somber music that plays.
Yeah. So They
So it's
can
really
be a
actually a
little,
high risk thing, isn't it? It's almost
it's high risk,
safer.
but less volatility, higher returns. So yeah, it's one of those risk reward. Like if I knew that you were a moderate investor, I would never tell you to
Yeah.
put an alternative investment in your portfolio.
Do you have a namby-pamby level that people can? That's me.
Speaking of namby-pamby, so here are my little doodles.
Oh
Would
my.
it make sense if these were primary colors and then these ones were like jewel tones? Because I feel like the primary beginner stuff, like red, orange, yellow, blue, and this might be like a deep purple, a teal, like a navy, and then
Hey,
like
that's a good idea. I should do little.
I might let's try to co-create something in Melon Magazine. I want to do some
Yeah.
data
Oh,
I've been
Yeah.
doing. Anyway,
tough.
yeah, you can
Okay.
use it anytime you want, of course, because I think the visual, like people like me, I'm like, am I red or blue? I think I have some mutual funds.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like and that was the other feedback I got from the other when I did it is like visual. It's like I'm a what type A personality. I'm more, I want to talk about it. I'm not a big visuals are good, so that's why I do the bullet points. But I think for people that are creatives like you,
Well, and if we
need
want to
have
go
something like
shopping,
in the buckets. Yeah, so people
investment,
understand buckets of money. Yes.
Yeah.
investment, the roadways of investments. I want to see, oh, I could buy this. I could buy, like pick it from the shelf, right? So I'm trying to really make it tactile for people.
Okay.
Anyway, cool. I love the presentation.
Any other questions for Karen?
Yeah, Karen, so there was a drive of popularity toward ESG and environmental, social governance investing. Is that typically in the alternative investing category or?
Not necessarily, because if I have clients that are in the ESG realm and you can choose to screen their portfolios for ESG. So it'll pick stocks, it'll pick mutual funds, basic investments that are ESG sensitive. So I like that. So if a person doesn't particularly care for guns, we wouldn't do a mutual fund that, is invest in Remington. If they don't, smoke, they probably wouldn't want to be in, who is it that owns that company? Reynolds or whatever it is.
Era or something, yeah.
Yeah, so
So it's an overlay that you can
it's an
apply
overlay. So
regardless
you can
of
think of
type.
ESG is you put it as an overlay on top of the investment and then it strains it out.
Great, excellent. Well, and that's one of the things I loved about your presentation is the sort of putting it into context. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Okay, any other questions for Karen before we go into the speech breakout? Okay. All right, so let me go ahead and pop up that screen really quickly. Once again, 15 different steps to get to the screen I want to get to. Dramatic pause. Oh, I need to get sharing back or hosting back. Reclaim. Oops. All right, so can we see that? Excellent. Yep. Let's do a deeper dive into what we just experienced. This is really where the meat and potatoes are uncovered here. So any of you that didn't get a chance to eat during our lunch meeting, now's your chance. Let's talk about the target market. Let's talk about her target market, what people and/or businesses would need Karen's services.
People who just inherited a lot of money.
Yeah.
They don't know what to shop for.
There you go.
Uncle Bill
like
died.
Chris that are just sitting on mountains of money, just don't know what to do with it. I always say, because obviously in PNA we all probably know maybe one or two financial advisors. Anyone who's not having a fiduciary experience, because they might have been working with that person for a little bit too long and a little bit too much trust, and they don't know really what is placed where. I love the fact that Karen talks about risk levels. I know at one point when I had money, I was never asked that, and that caused problems, 20 some odd years back. So people that may not be getting I don't know how to say this, just the experience they need to be getting out of utilizing someone with, the financial solutions that Karen offers. Give them a chance to audit what they've got through her and see if there's a chance for her to earn business.
Are investment clubs still a thing, Karen?
They are, when,
Pyramid. Sorry.
yeah, so it just depends. Like there was a group of ladies that did some stock trading, when I was at the other firm, the larger firm that I did. So there is, yeah, they meet, they look at different types of stocks, and then they pool their money, and then they purchase it, and they purchase it as like a business.
It sounded like a pyramid at first. So anyway, good answer, Karen.
Well-
Better answer.
And I love her name about financially empowering. So I think people who feel disempowered or they're discouraged and they need the encouragement, they need the kind and motivating direction.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. How about key conversations? What can trigger a referral for Karen? What should we be out there thinking about? Leaving, tagging on social media posts, things along those lines. Let's chew on that a bit.
I think it's probably valuable to leverage anxiety. I mean, I have an incredible amount of anxiety about exactly this, and talking to somebody who can help put it in context lessens anxiety. So I'd listen for what indicates anxiety about investments and money.
Good.
And that,
Good. Anyone
that's
else?
kind of what my I did and I do these. I should have had a slide for that, but I will. Anybody who wants, I'll do a 30-minute free consultation. But I did a consultation the other day, and I always start my conversations with, I don't care where you're at. I'm not here to judge you on whether you have invested or not invested. I'm here to help you get to where you want to be today. So put that anxiety, judgment, that type of stuff over there on the left-hand side, and just talk to me person to person is what I usually tell people. And then I just see their shoulders go, that's nice to know.
I love that. I can't tell you how many financial advisors start their presentations out with, if you haven't been investing since age 19, you're gonna die alone, or whatever. It's not the right approach. Our society, the US, we boast a lot on social media and crap like that, but we don't really talk about these things, numbers. It's scary. And it's a place of deep shame for many people. So taking that approach, Karen, is brilliant. Thank you for that. Anything else under key conversations?
Recently divorced or people thinking about getting a divorce, they need
Yes.
Karen.
Yes. Many things go poof, many things go splitsville, etc. during those situations. And Karen, can you actually, let's break out of this for just a second. Can you talk about your certification dealing with newly singled ladies?
Yeah, so I took a certification course. It's called Certified Divorce Financial Analyst. And basically it's to, when you go through a divorce, the lawyers throw a financial packet at you and say, fill it out. And lots of times, it's young couples or people who haven't had privy to the different investments that their family owns. Lots of times one person does the financials and not the other. Well, what a CDFA does is they're kind of like a forensic accountant that can come in and they can coax things out of people in a way to find out what type of assets are out there, because there's always one person who says, hey, I don't have these assets, or they'll hide assets. So I help, and I can't, and it's one of those, I forget the word for it, but it's where if you would hire me as a CDFA to help you with the financial portion of your divorce, then I can't be your financial advisor. I would have to then, any money that you got out of the settlement, it's kind of like a conflict of interest. So yeah, so the CDFA is basically an analyst that comes in and looks at all the different assets, makes sure that you get the share of what's coming to you and that it's fair and equitable.
So you're Switzerland, and then you can't come in and change sides and represent either side, correct?
True. It's like a mediated, it's a mediated type of, it's a collaborative, that's what it's called, collaborative divorces, where you have an attorney, plus you have a CDFA, plus you have a therapist and counselors for the children. So they all come together as one big, big, huge hug around you while you're going through a divorce.
You need to do video on that. And speaking of which, the next section is beneficial syndications. What you just said right there is really freaking cool. I've never heard you say that, Karen.
Gotcha.
And you ended it with the big old hug. What if you had some graphics, had a voiceover specialist like Chris, whatever, talking about what you're doing in that situation that separates you from any other financial advisors I know, right? That certification, how you can bring the community in to take care of the situation that can be painful. And correct me if I'm wrong, you predominantly work with ladies when it comes to that stuff? Or can you work with guys, or does it matter? Or?
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
You know how they tell you to niche? I mean, my niche is, women and women business owners, but it doesn't mean I exclude people. So I would help anybody.
Wonderful. So again, big old hug. How you explain that, the hug can be all encompassing. It can take care of all parties involved because it's scary, right? So excellent. And any other ideas for syndications, beneficial syndications, video, social media, specific groups that maybe that we can advise her to get into, sponsorships? Marcel?
Well, and Karen, if you were to do, say, one of these buckets a day, and you did a 90-second tip to your story, and we made a cute little graphic where it's like, like think of yourself as a motivational speaker for people who want to invest. Like, go check how many do you have in your mutual fund? Like how many, like, do you have bonds yet? Maybe it's time to add bonds. You've got 20 pairs of shoes. Why not have 20 types of investments? Like your voice on this was very encouraging, but I want to hear that voice come through, like, in your stories and in your reels, just in general, because you have so much insight. And you could literally be like, I just hopped off with a client, and here's some of the cool things we're doing with their portfolio. Don't name drop, but just because the marketplace is not motivated right now, I don't think. So just general, like, you speaking your truth and what cool things you find exciting about, these different
It's a great idea.
investments or alternative investments.
Good. Okay. Other categories. Let's talk about other businesses that we can bring into DigitalPNA that, of course, directly benefits Karen from the grow your referral network perspective, but also us all from collaboration perspectives and other potential referrals. Who else can we bring into DigitalPNA?
Or a life coach.
Yeah, definitely. Frankly, a business coach, a
Business
life coach, absolutely life coach. Family law, folks.
Yeah.
Most of them think they don't have to advertise because the business just comes to them. That's very true, but they often have a large enough firm that there's one or two people within a segment of the organization that's out there marketing. And if they can take anyone in the Pacific Northwest, why, and or beyond, like Arizona, why would they conceivably consider something like this, right? Any other businesses we can think of?
Maybe like a recruiter, somebody that's like headhunting for these, 6-figure salary people that are, I don't know, ready to invest.
That's an interesting take. I like that. Yeah.
CPAs, bookkeepers.
And for the record, we have Rosie for that, but this is an open category organization, meaning DigitalPNA. So there can be collaborative opportunities between Rosie and someone else that we bring in, as well as the chance to honestly compete for those opportunities. Okay.
Personal injury attorneys. I mean, people who get settlements.
It's true. Yeah.
Tax attorney.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Very good. How about a voiceover specialist? Do we know anyone that does that? I mean, I hear they're kind of shady. They're hard. They're hard to find, but yeah, I never know. Just saying. Okay.
But I thought this was only an hour.
Oh, okay. Do you have to bail?
Yeah, I have another meeting.
Well, Chris,
Yeah.
it's great to see you.
Yeah. I took a
thanks for
couple
coming.
pictures. I'll send the pictures over.
Yeah, send them to me. Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks, Chris. Take care.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting everyone. And seeing Marcel and Brian again.
I want to catch the recording. It will be on later if you want to catch the last 30 minutes.
Okay,
The
thanks.
referrals and testimonials part is pretty juicy. It's good.
Okay.
All right, the last section, and I'm going to kill the screen just because I'm tired of seeing my face lit up like a Christmas tree. Is
Suggest
sorry?
one. I was just going to suggest, I'm going to try to get one payroll company in.
Did you say
They're
payroll?
called What's that?
Did you say payroll?
Yeah, they're called forensic payroll. That's
Oh, yeah,
actually their,
great.
but I think they'd be a good fit just for digital PNA, but a good referral partner for myself and Karen. I might be using them on a client right now, and they work with throughout the US, so they're nationwide.
That's awesome. Rosie, thank you. Okay, so other businesses. No, I'm sorry. Supportive thoughts, kudos, shares. What'd you like about Karen's presentation? Ideas for future presentations. Maybe you just like her hair. Maybe you're wondering where the rest of her shirt is. It slipped. No. So anyway, kudos. Go for it.
I loved that when you were going through the categories of traditional and alternative, you had ready-made actual companies or stocks or Fidelity investments. It made it real. It tied the academic to the real. I appreciated that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, Karen, I've always loved your passion when you talk about your business. Frankly, your world is terrifying. I don't like it. I'm not going to like it. I never like it. I have too many questions. I'm too confused. Hold me. Okay.
That's
But
why you
I
hire a
know-
financial advisor, because it
I
takes the
know.
scariness out of it.
Yeah, but what you do is, and like to use Marcel's word that I think is the best quote here is, it's juicy. Like you bring in some juiciness to it, which really sounded better in my head now that I'm saying it out loud. But I think I could listen to you above and beyond a presentation like this and actually get answers versus just continually go, huh? Plus, I recently saw a funny Jennifer Beals video meme with like the flash dance thing off, and that's why I made the reference. It wasn't a direct attack toward your apparel. It's all coming together.
Yeah.
I do think that because I've seen a lot of what you do on social media from the advertising and marketing perspective, you've got to work some visuals into your presentation, because just bullet points ain't going to do it for you. A strong visual or two will match your enthusiasm that you bring across when you talk. So think about that for a future presentation. You can talk about it.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to do more reels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from a free giveaway, like if we were to make you like a coloring page, think like very simple design, but where it's like there's 8 jars of things, and then people gotta get a kind of, for your first audit, they could easily be like, look what I have. I've got 3 of these 8 categories, or I've only got 1, or I've got 5 of the things, like from a free and easy, and again, you're socializing it. Something that wife and husband can do, 2 young adults could do together. Like, make it fun, make it inviting, because nobody's doing that right now.
Yeah, gamify. That's what I was thinking about that too. Maybe I don't know how gamification and important serious stuff like financial services work together, but there must be some way.
Yeah. Like you're overdrawn, like, yeah. I make that fun.
Or a little quiz that you take that gives you, if answer these 3 questions and find out, which bucket or which jar, you should, which color you are.
Yeah.
Wonderful job though, Karen.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Anything else? Any other kudos you want to toss her way? Hearing none. You guessed it. Back to sharing slides. So we go through this every single month, twice in fact. We talk about these other categories that we want to bring in. Let's do it, okay? I would love to get this chapter back up to some stronger numbers. Not that all of our heads, noggins here aren't quality members, but we will increase our opportunities if we get some more people to join us. It's the typical rule, any chapter, whether physical or this one, in the clouds, in the sky, in the interwebs. But think about these. And actually now we, again, I could have removed bookkeeper and CPA in there because we got Rosie now. What? But like I said, this is open category. So we can be mean to Rosie, bring in other people that does what she does. And again, I do feel the need to explain, I want this open category. We designed it, meaning this was actually Marcel's kind of child originally when she came to me and said, let's think about this model. It's not to be mean to Rosie. It's to bring in other people that does what she does potentially. I'm just picking on you, Rosie, because this is here. Because she might do things the other person doesn't and vice versa, or it helps encourage folks to stay engaged earn the opportunities versus just assume in a closed business environment that you're always going to get the lead if it comes through, if that makes sense. Okay.
Well, and also if somebody wants to meet in person. So
yeah,
I assume Rosie's in Washington State. Maybe we need a bookkeeper that's from Arizona. And like if
That.
somebody wants to meet with them in person.
You know, I hadn't thought of it from that angle, and that's brilliant. So Karen, go get us more people. Yeah, absolutely. And I'll pay you dividend. Almost as high of a return as one of the things you were talking about. So yeah, not too shabby. Okay, next up, referrals or testimonials. Let's talk about this. Anything around the room? Anybody got something to share? Referral or testimonial? Let's start with Miss Rosie. I'm shaking it up here. You're on mute. And you said, oh, okay, I can read lips. Go ahead.
You can read lips. That's impressive, right? Anyways,
Anytime.
referrals and testimonials. So I've been using Marcel recently. So I want to give her testimonial about her, because she's not just a cheerleader. I mean, she's a great cheerleader, but she also is one that is, how do you say, kind of like, she pushes you, but then she doesn't like embarrass you to the point where you're just like, no, I won't ever do it again. An example, lab tech. I was at comedy night, and she saw me in the audience. I'm like, no, don't look, don't look, don't look. You're moving. Why don't you come up here before you do? And it's true. I am in Westport. I'm still in Washington. I still go up north on occasion, but we are moving down here. So that's part of what Brian was saying, for my announcements and stuff. But so I, told myself I need to really become like kind of like a presence in social media. So she had me go on stage, and then Brian did wonderful pictures and tagged me and all that stuff, and so that I can kind of get more exposure. But it was a fun curveball, and so Marcel, thank you.
Awesome. All right, thanks for that. Karen, how about you? You've been busy lately. We haven't seen you in a while. What's going on?
So I shout out for BizX. What is their name? Is it Jennifer? Jennifer? Yeah, she
Jennifer?
reached out and had said that they were having a hard time sending referrals to me, and I said, well, I do trust and wills as part of my portfolio too, and she hooked me up with a very big BizX client, and I had a 30-minute with him the other day. He's in his 40s, owns quite a bit of properties and those types of things, and he doesn't have a trust or a will in place. I don't even think he has beneficiaries named. So we talked a lot about why you should, and then now he's going to refer other people to me that he knows. So I got a BizX client because they're actively working behind the scenes to make sure that we all get value from the company. So kudos to
Well, that's great. So a quick question on that. When you say you do trust and wills, does that intersect with what an attorney does in probate? I asked because I was talking to somebody at a company called Zenith Law Group, and she creates trusts, and she's an attorney. Does it need to be an attorney that does that?
Well, the company that I work with is, it's called Trust and Will. And basically they work in all 50 states, and through their software, they create all the different legal documents that you need for a trust or a will, and you just print them out and then take them and get them notarized. And you have access to a lawyer. So if we need lawyer support, it's a flat fee for whatever state you're in if we have specific questions. So I would say it's a less expensive way to get a basic trust and will done without having to go through a lawyer, because lawyers can cost anywhere from $3,000 up to $7,000. So
great. Thank you. I didn't mean to derail it, but that's great information. Thank you, Karen.
Well, and that sounds like a much sexier version of LegalZoom.
It is, and it's actually probably more legal than LegalZoom.
Yeah, there's been some loopholes. I'm actually in the process of canceling my LegalZoom right now because I've had it for years, and when I've used it, it hasn't been that. I mean, it's been good for certain
It
things.
works,
Great
yeah.
for certain things, but other things
Right.
they're just like, yeah, we're gonna have some lawyer call you, and they're on our plan, and
Mhm.
the price I get, I'm like, that doesn't sound very plan-like, you know? It's like,
Right. And then there's other like if people already have a trust and then they need to add to it or take away from it,
yeah,
we don't have to do a new trust. We do what's called a reinstatement trust. So then they don't have to rename the trust. So I can do those types of things too. No, I'm not a lawyer and I don't claim to be a lawyer. I'm a financial advisor that's going to help you through the process of creating it.
I thought you were gonna say, but I
Fantastic.
play one on TV. Okay, well, good, good.
I've got some
And I
things.
get paid in BizX dollars is how it works.
Boom. I sent you a note, Karen.
Okay.
Marcel.
Good. I want to give Brian a huge shout out. So I saw him speak last night for Laugh Tech, or last week at the Shoreline Chamber, and I hadn't heard him done a presentation in a while just because I've been, out of it. And he was fantastic. He was funny. I got to record the whole thing, so I got all these videos to edit, but he was great. And I just got to share one of the ladies in the audience, big time networker in Seattle, and she was like, where the hell were you when Sears went out of business? And she was like,
He was adamant about that.
she was adamant about that. And I was like, that's a whole other category of businesses to target, is people that are on the decline. And they're like, can we save the company?
Yeah.
And so we're going to have to create a whole marketing campaign around that. But like, it was just cool to think that we could have helped save Sears. Like, oh my goodness. Anyway, so it was kind of a shout out, but just a cool thing. And then Mike, thank you for Emily. We've been chatting. I sent her an email this morning. And so thank you for moving that along. And Karen, I feel like everybody I know needs you. And so I'm torn because I'm like, I know like 5,000 people. I'm trying to think of like the 1 or 2 or 3 who are ready for you.
She's like, I'll take 1% of that. That's fine.
But I would like to talk with you, maybe do a one-to-one about creating that visual, because I would like to participate in that if you're open to it,
Oh,
because
yeah, for sure. I'm creative, but I'm not creative.
yeah, like I have some great ideas. I need the knowledge, right? I don't know the things. I'm like, make it easier for people to shop for investment.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Okay. Thank you for that. Any other referrals or testimonials? I've got a few things, but I'll wait. Hearing none. Shopping. Waiting. Please hold. I'm slipping. Help. Okay. So I want to give a shout out, first of all, to Rosie. She was my client like 8+ years ago, and I branded her company, and it was fun. And she was this cute little gal who knew stuff about bookkeeping and was real shy and just real demure and frankly annoying because I couldn't get her to smile and lighten up and really market her business. And she was still rocking it, but then she moved. So I was like, okay, fine. Clients leave your world, right? In the big circle of life. And then years later, she pops up again in the Pacific Northwest, and she's a freaking bulldog. She's completely changed. Her personality is a 180. I love it. I love how hungry you are. I love the fact that you go after referrals that we send you, literally like a recently freed Wolverine, and like grab onto their ankle and just gnash on them until they pay attention to you and give you an opportunity. And you've closed business because of the new Rosie that's come out. And I'm proud of you. And I'm excited to say that now that she's leaving me again, typical, she's going to go down to the Olympia area, for lack of better words, in Westport. And just the other day, she's like, I want to start a PNA in Olympia. And I'm like, wow, the emperor taking over the world. So I'm really excited at the possibility of her expanding the influence of PNA Northwest throughout the Pacific Northwest, because again, we're going to take over the world, so get on board or we'll just absorb you later. And she's doing it. She's making it happen. And I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have be a little spunky firecracker of a president at a new chapter somewhere. So I'm proud of you, Rosie. Outstanding.
Thank you.
Mike is also another bulldog. He takes advice. He changes his presentations when people ask him to make them better. And he gave a presentation at his other home chapter the other day that blew my mind, because his world is difficult to talk about. Some people still don't get it. And I really, really appreciate that. And he's also a hell of a good guy. And I say that because on that meeting day, Friday morning, I was complaining about the fact that the injury to my finger, which is now pretty much healed, it was less traumatic than I made it feel, but it hurt like an SOB. I'd sliced off a chunk of my finger trying to prep a meal the day before. Mike dropped everything Friday night, showed up to the Good Brewing location where our comedy nights are, and he helped. He helped put stuff together for me, helped lift the heavy stuff because I was a whiny little baby. It did hurt though. I'm not a complete Nancy, but really I am. So Mike, I just want to thank you for doing that. It meant a lot to me. We had to literally shove one of their meals that they have now available in your hands before you shush yourself out the door to go spend time with your bride. But I want to thank you for that. It means a lot.
Well, my pleasure. My
Yeah.
pleasure. I wish I could have stayed longer because I understand it was a wonderful show.
It was a kick booty show. Yes. So are there any other referrals or testimonials? Okay. Because
Actually,
yeah,
Brian,
go ahead.
you actually, because I don't have a visual yet, but I will. But you're making the checkbooks for me
Oh yeah.
for
Oh, yeah.
my logo stuff. So I'm excited. It was weird because I was like, I gotta write Brian a check, and then I was like, damn it, I don't have a checkbook. And then I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm like, Brian, I
Yeah.
have an idea.
Yeah, it's been fun to be brought back into the fold of Rosie's world from the standpoint of design work that I still do for clients that I choose to do stuff with, and then promo products. I've done that for 30 years. So any chance I can get BizX promo products or anything else, I'd love those opportunities because I go right to the source versus 2 or 3 other separative parties, which is what drives up the price. Thank you for that, Rosie. So back to this fun speaker schedule. Karen was today. Great job once again, Karen. Appreciate your taking the effort and delivering a double whammy. My brain is swirling. Next time, Mike, you're up, big man. Okay, on the 6th. And Rosie, can we confirm you for the 20th? Do you think that'll work with you? Okay, very, very good. So we got those down. Why am I not hitting next? As always, I put this up here. And that's just our ongoing comedy nights. If you're in the local Pacific Northwest area or want to drive, I mean, Karen, get in your car, drive now. You'll make it there roughly in time. Really, really fun events. For the record, Karen, I know comedians all over the country, so I could fly out. We could fly out to you and have an event somewhere you want to put on, maybe a charity fundraiser. But we've got a lot of talent that's coming to the stage, and this year so far, it's been almost sellouts twice in a row. And that just makes us happier than you can believe because we're keeping comedy local. We're supporting Good Brewing Barrel House, also, of course, Laugh Tech, but also 4 comedians that are busting their tail, hitting open mics all across the place, the Pacific Northwest or beyond. And these folks work, they really do work hard. And it's just great to see people laugh. Makes us all warm and goopy inside. Marcel, you got something real quick?
Yeah, so also another announcement, the revenue ringlet is tomorrow, 10 to 2 for those of you who are members. And then also just quick kind of announcement, I'm looking for other people who want to be in the Instagram directory in Dreamosity. I'm launching it in March. So if you've got $50, you are proud of your Instagram account and you want it to be in there, I'm happy to feature it. Payments would be due by the 1st to get in there. So if you're interested in that, let me know. But I think you should all be featured. So let me know if you want me to send you an invoice for that.
I love that. PNA partook in that, so we'll be on that a little marketing plan of hers. I'm excited about that. And then again, this is a bit, I guess, Karen, you can just hang out for a second. The Mill Creek Chamber is growing like crazy. I would be remiss if I didn't state that we're at like 138 members now. Our goal for the end of the year is 200. It's insane, and that doesn't even count the recent technically pending absorption of the Mill Creek Town Center, which is its own little bandicoot of crazy local businesses that were kind of forced into buying a $400 membership to the Mill Creek Association, but they didn't really get a big value out of that. So now that the chamber's really pulled up its bootstraps and is kicking tail, we've absorbed that actual business, formed it as a committee underneath the Mill Creek Chamber. As a committee, they keep all their funding buckets. They put on the wine walks and the art walks and the music festival every year, things like that. But now they have the strength of the chamber behind it. It's very exciting. And that's potentially another 40 members that haven't transferred over their $400, which for the first year, the association will actually pay to get members in under the banner of the chamber. So it's growing immensely. If you're not going to the Coffee Connections events, which are the second Tuesday of each month, or the third Thursday events, which again, don't ask me when that is because I just told you. Someone did email me the other day, when's the third Thursday? Really? I responded kindly though, and they're just really great opportunities led by myself and the marketing committee to continue the focus back to the members. And you know, so people are getting as much value out of their membership with the chamber as possible. So out of curiosity, Karen, are you part of a local chamber in your neck of the woods?
No.
Is that of value to you out there?
Their Chamber of Commerce is different than up there, and a lot of people have said it's not, there's no value for the money. So we've done a couple of things on our own. I think, you know, Lynn Reifert, she created a women's business group.
Good for her.
And then she does a pitch session twice a month for real estate agents. So I've been getting business from that. So we're doing it within the local community here. So it's more targeted.
I love that. Marcel just sent a question across. The next Coffee Connections is the 12th of March, and that is at the Mill Creek Windermere office. The next third Thursday, I'm literally counting here, 1, 2, 3, is the 15th of March. And I am blanking as to where oh no, I'm sorry. That's at Good Brewing, where we do our comedy. And Good Brewing is one of the newer members. I actually finally convinced them because it's only $250 to join the chamber at the smallest level. Or if you want to use BizX dollars, sign up with BizX, you join it at the $500 level, and you can put half of that on BizX dollars, which to me is very exciting. And that makes Mike happy because a smiling Mike is a happy Mike. Does anyone else have anything else before we wrap up? Because technically we're done. We're good to go. Anybody?
I won't be here. I won't be here next time because I'll be on that cruise.
Oh, good for you. Woohoo. Outstanding. I mean, jerk. I mean, yay. I'm excited for you. And Rosie's being attacked by a puma. God, that thing is big. Is that all poof, or is that like a weight loss thing we need to talk about?
Wow.
Can I say one thing on behalf of Heath from North Creek PNA? So there's a thing called Slam Dunk Networking on March 21st. Somewhere on the east side. But if you want details, I'll get that in the thing. But that's, I don't know, it's some fancy hotel, free drinks. We're celebrating basketball, and I'm a big fan of basketball, slam dunk networking. So I've never been, but it sounds like a good, you know, they're hoping for 150 people. So I think I want to say Bellevue. And that's March 21st. So I'll get that in the minutes.
That's awesome. All right. Anybody have anything else? If not, I'll consider this adjourned and wish you all a fantastic rest of your week. Okay. Take care, everybody. Thanks for being on the Digital PNA call today.
Karen, if I call you,
Thank you.
Free?
Yeah.
Okay, oh, don't kill it yet, Brent. I gotta copy the chat.